Hello friends, I hope your exams are going well, and in this video we will have a quick revision of IBO 05 International Marketing Logistics, and let's see a few important questions that you might get in this examination. And before that, kindly make sure that you have subscribed to my channel, and also click that bell notification so that you get the important updates whenever I upload an important video. Okay, unit 1 is on introduction to marketing logistics systems, and here you should know about what is marketing logistics and what is logistics management. Not much difference between these two topics, ज़्यादा difference नहीं है. मार्केटिंग लॉजिस्टिक्स का मतलब होता है कि फिनिश्ड गुड्स को मार्केट तक लेके जाना. दैट मीन्स ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, वेयर हाउसिंग, ऑल दीज एक्टिविटीज़ आर इंक्लूडेड इन logistics. And when we talk about logistic management, it is the process of strategically managing the movement and storage of materials, parts, and finished goods from the supplier, that means manufacturer of the firm, to the customer, right? So that is just movement of goods from manufacturer to the customer. So that is called logistic management, and these are the main objectives of marketing logistics: to reduce cost, to provide better customer services, to increase sales, to establish competitive advantage over competitors, and to develop a better communication system with the customers, right? And this 7R, you might get a short note on this 7R of international logistics. 7R stands for right product, that means good quality product. Right customer, that means good customer, you should retain them. Right time, delivery of goods at the right time, and then at the right place, and in the right condition, and in the right quantity, and at right cost. So these are the 7 R's of international logistics. Now let's see the importance. It's quite easy to write the importance. We know about this. Okay, now let's see the main functions or tasks or activities of logistics management. Firstly, to make the good delivery of the product, right time delivery at right place, and to charge reasonable prices, and to promote the product, then to transport the goods from manufacturer's point of view point or supplier's point to the customer, and to provide warehousing facilities. So these are the main 5 functions of logistics management. And one more topic here, that is the difference between domestic and international logistics. Domestic here, the movement of goods inside the country, and here the movement of goods between two or more countries. So international logistic, it is expensive, a lot of formalities are there. So but domestic logistic, it's simple one. Okay, let's move on to unit 2. The main components of customer service and logistics. That means main components of logistics, that means to make the stock available in time to the customers. Order cycle time, that means when the supplier gets an order, in how many days, in what time it will complete the order. So that is called order cycle time. Then comes frequency of delivery, like how many times the delivery are available to the customers. Then on schedule delivery, like as requested by the customer, so the trader has to deliver the product accordingly. Then reliability of delivery, that means goods are delivered to the customers in right conditions. Okay, then there are some strategic logistic planning. This is also very important question. uh, Basically, it is a sort of strategic plan or framework that helps in planning, implementing, and controlling the orders or movement of goods. And these planning have basically, these some aspects or goals, that is long-term goals, and how means, that means resources, and then like through what processes. So these are strategic logistic planning. Then elements of strategic logistic planning, some elements are there, like uh, general terms and how to relate the business activities, Then what are the objectives of the firm and how it relates to cost and services. Then description of each strategy that will support the overall development of the strategic plan, and a breakdown of each logistic planning into timing, cost, and implementation of the order. Then forecast the demand of the workforce, capital, and any other assets. So like this. So these are all elements or parts of strategic planning. Okay. Three important aspects of logistic management, that is, first one is the cost trade-off, second one the total cost concept, and the total system concept. Even like I have explained this in my previous videos. In trade, cost trade, that means it involves all the important cost of trading. And total cost concept is a big concept, that is a very wide concept. And system, again, a very, it covers all the different types of systems and the cost involved in those systems. So that will add to the total system concept, right? Let's move on to the next important unit, unit 3, inland transport and overseas. Basically, when we talk about transportation system, as far as India is concerned, railways, roadways, both plays a very important role. And we know about this. We can write in our common sense also how railways are important for the movement of logistics in India. So I have briefed up this 10 points. So this is important one. Then the role of road transport in the Indian economy, and we this is a very common topic. You can write about this. What are the advantages of road transport and disadvantages of road transport? Very simple one. Like road transportation, the cost is relatively less, and delivery can be scheduled. That means can be delivered in time, and through road transportation we can deliver product in any areas like hilly, forest, whatever it is. And so this is a very important one. In fact, to transport heavy goods, so this road transport is very important one. And as far as disadvantages are concerned, for long distances, road transport can take more time. There may be delays if there is a traffic problem and breakdowns, and there is a risk of damage, especially over the long distances. So, like that. Now, the next topic is inland water transport. Inland water transport here refers to all the rivers, lakes, canals which are there in our country, and we can make use of them to transport goods and people. And basically, when a company thinks about inland transportation system, in fact, I tell you, like, inland transportation system in India is not very well developed. And although like a lot of rivers are there, lakes are there, but we fail to use the best use of this. And basically, when a company tries to think about inland transportation, these five factors are considered, that is cost of service, speed of transportation, regularity of services, safety of logistic, that is goods, and flexibility in operations. So these five factors plays an important role when thinking about inland water transport. Okay, some issues and challenges are there for inland transportation in India. This is also important question. And basically, in India, there is a high cost of operating. There is inadequate depth of the water bodies, that is rivers. So that makes the movement of ships and boats, very difficult. And impact of other activities, like people are going for bathing, they even take their cattle for bathing, so that makes a problem. Then shortage of vessels, not good vessels, ships, boats, inadequate industries are there. Then basically, this shipping industry or boats, they lack funds, so we don't have that scientific boats. Then some environmental impact are there due to pollution, and some social impact are there, like there are a lot of societies which do not want, they just worship rivers and lakes, so they don't allow the movement of goods on that. Then comes what is multimodal transport. It's very simple. transportation that involves the use of more than one mode of transportation. So it's very simple. And maybe like when we combine railway and roadway, so that makes multimodal. That means we are using more than one mode, right? uh, some advantages are there, that it reduces congestion, it reduces the cost, it reduces the custom cost, so like that. Okay, let's move on to the next. Some disadvantages are also there of multimodal transport. So this also like you can go through. Simple one, not very difficult. Okay, let's move on to the next one, warehousing. Warehousing is storing, preserving, and protecting goods from damage, very in simple time, and makes the good available in time, or supply the goods as and when required by the suppliers, by the customers. And basically, there are three elements of warehousing, that is space, where the goods can be stored properly. Proper equipments must be there to handle the goods, and there must be well trained professional staffs which can handle the warehousing activities. These are the basic functions of warehousing: to store the goods systematically so that they do not get damaged, and better processing of the order, smooth production, that means company can concentrate on the production, and the warehousing department will look after the storing of goods. Then it can also improve purchase decisions because raw materials can be systematically stored in these warehouses. And to meet the seasonal demands, like there are some goods like sweaters, jackets, so they are demanded seasonally. So we can, the company can manufacture it 365 days and store them and supply them when required. Then it also reduces the risk of damage. Different types of warehouses there in India, like public warehouses, which are basically government warehouses, and some private warehouses there. Basically, these are used by the company itself, and cooperative warehouses there, where same type of traders, they combine, they join hands, and they systematically store their goods in those warehouses. Some advantages of public warehouses. Basically this one, Central Warehousing Corporation, CWC. You might get a short note of this, very important question. And this is a statutory, this warehousing corporation was established by the Ministry of Customer Affairs, Food Production and Distribution in India in 1962. And the main object of this CWC was to provide reliable, cost effective, and value added integrated warehousing and logistics solution to the people, to the traders. And this is a public sector warehouses, and the main object is to, these are the main objectives of CWC, that is to create negotiable instrument for business dealers so that they can take loans from the bank, and to develop and promote scientific warehousing facilities in India, and systematically marketing of goods, to provide training facilities about warehousing, and making schemes and programs which makes you know trading and warehousing activities more fruitful, right? So unit 5 is on inventory management and order handling. And inventory is like, it's stock of goods is called inventory. And there are some, basically this one you have to revise: objectives of inventory control and techniques of inventory control. These two topics are very important in this unit. And when we talk about techniques of inventory control, we have three important techniques: reorder level, reorder quantity, that is EOQ, and ABC analysis. There is also one more, that is JIT, just in time. So these are main techniques of inventory control, so that we do not waste the जो भी स्टॉक है अपने पास में, वो वेस्ट ना हो, उसकी अच्छे से यूज़ करें हम लोग. तो रीऑर्डर लेवल, यहाँ पे मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल कंजप्शन इज डिटरमाइंड बाय फॉर ए सर्टन पीरियड, एंड सेफ्टी मार्जिन्स आर एडेड इनटू दैट. एंड ये फॉर्मूला है टू कैलकुलेट रीऑर्डर लेवल, दैट इज मैक्सिमम कंजप्शन रेट इनटू मैक्सिमम लीड टाइम plus safety margin. And again, this ROL level is divided into two important methods, that is perpetual review system and periodic review system. तो इसको भी अच्छे से आपको एक्सप्लेन करना है. When we think about reorder quantity, that is EOQ, it is the ideal quantity a company should purchase to minimize the inventory cost or warehousing cost. And to calculate this EOQ, we use this formula whole under square root 2ds by h, right? And some there are some factors which affect EOQ. Benefits of EOQ, this is also very important one. You should revise this properly. Then we have ABC analysis. ABC analysis is very simple. The stocks are divided into three categories, A, B, C. And in category A, we have, they have high consumption rate, and strict control is required against this. And basically, these are very expensive goods or inventory. When we talk about category B, these are moderate items, right? The value is moderate. We do not require much strict control over this inventory. And category C is, the list value of inventory, but their consumption is very, very high, right? Okay. This is just in time, that inventory control, just in time technique of inventory control. That means whenever you need stock, then you just make a order to acquire them, and the main object is to control the stock of goods. It reduces inventory vestiges, and the producer can concentrate more on production rather than handling of stocks. It helps producers to produce good quality of products. Producers are burden free, and small investments is required for this. And this mode is suitable for basically electronic and electrical appliances, the companies which are engaged in this. But the producers or manufacturers should have good relationship with the suppliers, so that stocks or raw materials can be available in time. So like this. Then what are the steps involved in handling an export order? If a supplier gets an export order, how he will go, like what steps he will take? First, he will receive the order, then he will obtain the export license, then the exporter has to obtain LOC, that is letter of credit. Then he will fix the exchange rate, because he will be receiving the money in terms of the domestic currency. So the exchange rate should be determined because it always changes. Then he will prepare for the order, and he will clear all the formalities through C&F agents. Then he has to obtain the bill of lading. This is one of the very important document in import-export trade. Then he will present all these documents to his banker, and he will realize the export proceeds, that is payment. So very important one. Then documents required in export trade. Firstly, an exporter has to obtain air bill, then certificate of origin where the goods are manufactured, then bill of lading, combined transport documents, draft, that is bills of exchange, insurance policy documents. Then he has to obtain a packing list, inspection certificate from the custom officers, like that. Okay. Unit 6 is on air transport. Basically, air transport is the fastest means of transportation, we know that, and it is very, very suitable for perishable goods or very high value goods. And where road, railway, where all these are not accessible, that is very hilly areas, desert areas, so we can make the use of air transport in those areas. And basically, this system is very much advanced in developed countries. And we have in the structure of civil aviation in India, that is Indian Airlines, Air India, Pawan Hans Limited, then AAA, that is Airport Authority of India, and the Director General of Civil Aviation. These are the five, regulatory bodies which comprises aviation system in India. And Indian Airlines and Air India, Pawan Hans, these three provides all the planes, aircrafts, And AAA, that is Airport Authority of India, it provides all those airport facilities in India. It looks after their maintenance and safety movement of goods and people. And this is the main authority, the boss, Directorate General of Civil Aviation. So this body, plans all the systems of air transport in India. And some challenges are there as far as aviation industry is concerned in India. The first one is shortage of trained employees, right? And there is a regional connectivity is not good. Then there is a rising fuel prices, so that makes the airfare very high. Then declining builds, that means the profits are not adequate to the aircraft companies, so they generally stop operating after a few years. Then gaps in the infrastructure facilities and some technical challenges are there in terms of technology. So these are few challenges, issues or problems in air transport. Some steps have been taken by the government to promote this, but they are not very, very successful. Okay. Now comes ocean transport. Ocean transport for bulky goods, it is one of the best. For import-export trade also, ocean transport is the most popular one. And different type of ships are there in this transportation, like conventional cargo ship, container ships, there are tankers, dry bulk carriers. So these are the different types of ships which are available for transportation of cargo. And in my previous video I also told about that liner shipping and tramp shipping, this difference. This one is also very important one. Unit 8. Unit 8 is on modalization and here you should know about what is containerization. Everything, learn everything about containerization. It is a way of using the specialized intermodal container, container in which goods are kept for transportation. So they are containers. You might have seen that loaded in the ships. And basically there are a lot of advantages of this containerization and disadvantages also. Basically they protect the goods from damages, so that is one of the best advantage of this protection of goods. Then quicker and more efficient systematic way of transporting goods over long distances, and it reduces the risk of damage, theft, all that. And the most important disadvantage is it is very very costly and time consuming in loading and unloading, so that makes it more expensive. Different types of containers are there, like dry storage containers, then flat track containers, open top whose tops are open. You might have seen that in mining products like iron ore, coal, so they are all transported through open top. Open side storage where the side one is open. So like this, different types of containers. Refrigerated containers are there to move the perishable goods. Okay. The next topic is what is intermodalism? The movement of goods in containers through different modes of transport from one place to other is called intermodalism. And a single carrier takes all the responsibility of transportation. The main object is to transfer goods in continuous flow through transport services. And these modes may include roadways, railways, ocean routes, or air, right? And multimodalism, just now I explained to you about this. Okay. Next, unit 10, Indian shipping. Very important unit. You can expect one question from here. And the most important question that you should revise here is the problems of shipping industry. First important one is inadequate capacity to handle cargo. The ships, the shipping industry, the port, they fail to handle the cargo. Then shortage of containers, overaged vessels, very old vessels are there. Then there is a cutthroat competition with the foreign companies, so that makes that adds up to the woes. And there is congestion in the port area. A lot of ships are there. The ports are so congested that some of the ships have to harbor for a long time in the ocean to get a place. Then inadequate infrastructure for handling cargoes, and some strategies are there to improve these shipping problems, like more investment is done by the government on containers, then integration with the shipping and big companies to develop ports, and more warehousing facilities are developed, so like that. Liner frightening practices, and these are the different types of freight rates in international movement of goods. First one, commodity rates, then we have general cargo rates, class rates, deck cargo rates, open rates. So a lot of times this question comes in exam about the different freight rates, so you must revise this properly. Okay, the different types of surcharges also, this one is a also very important question, so must revise this well. Okay, in unit 12, tramp chartering practices. Here, what is tramp trade? Tramp deals with bulk carriers which carry the same type of goods in large quantities from one port to another. And there are three types of tramp chartering, that is voyage charter, time charter, and bareboat charter. I explained this concept in my previous video also in IGNOU 02. A lot of topics are common in this, so you must see that. One more difference, that is between voyage charter party and time charter party. Very important one. Do revise this question well. Okay. Then unit 13, legal aspects of carriage of goods. Now in this unit you should revise the distinction between bill of lading and charter party. And what is bill of lading? It is a legal document issued by the carrier, that is the transportation company, to the shipper, specifying the type of goods, quantity, and destination of the goods being carried. Right? So that will make, because this document is very important document as far as international trade is concerned. And these are the main functions of bill of lading. It acts as an evidence of contract, it acts as an evidence of receipt of goods, and it acts as a document. So if there are any disputes, you need bill of lading to settle those. Then the next unit is port system. Some of the issues and challenges with the Indian ports. Just now we have discussed about this, and some other important questions. Let's see the measures needed to improve Indian ports. So basically, this environmental clearance, tariff norms, all this needs to be standardized, simplified, and it is important to provide rail and road connectivity. So the government has to think about this. Then priority should be given to expanding capacity and improved operational efficiency. Technology and the GPS navigator system, all this should be improved. Regulatory regime should be less complex. That means the formalities should be simplified. So like that. Okay. Then private sector participation in the development of ports of India, very important one. So this is a must, because private businessmen, they can also invest for the improvement of this port system of India. And this is one question, that is duties and responsibilities of a carrier, right? So his function is to deliver the goods properly, systematically, and safe. Unit 15 is on maritime fraud and unethical practices. We know about this, like in maritime, there are a lot of frauds happening here. It may be by trader, by charterer, by shipping company, or by any other agencies. And some factors that leads to frauds, so that you need to revise. Common areas of frauds and disputes, that is basically carriage, bill of lading regarding voyage charter, time charter, freights and rates. This is a very common issue. Then stoppage of voyages, then damage of cargo. This is again a very common problem, the area. Then delay in delivery. This is again a very common area. So these things you need to practice. Then International Chamber of Commerce, because where there is frauds, disputes, now this institution plays the most important role to manage, to control, and to settle the disputes between the disputing parties. And it has a good structure, good system, whereby it handles all the disputes. One more organization, that is International Maritime Organization, IMO. This is also a very very important organization, institution, which specialized by the UN, and basically it looks after the safety and security of international shipping and prevent maritime pollution of the ships. And there are nearly about 175 countries which are member of this. And IMO stands for Standards, Security and Protection. Now these are the main objectives: safe, secure and efficient shipping. So this is the main motto of IMO. Okay. Let's move on to the next unit, Unit 16, Institutional Arrangement for Resolving Shippers' Problems. Some institutions have been established by India and by the UN, WTO, to handle the problems. One of them is AISC, All India Shippers Council Association, which was set up in 1967, and it looks after all the problems of the shipping companies of India. So friends, that's all. You can revise all these topics quickly for the exams. And thank you for watching. Best of luck for the exams.